Good day, everyone. So thanks for joining this edition of our Tech Talk. I'm your host, Leo Alvarado, and for today, we're gonna talk about something that's rapidly changing the way AI interacts with different tools around it. The Model Context Protocol, or the MCP server for Oracle AI database. And as your AI assistants become more capable, so still one challenge remains as how do they securely connect to the tools, applications, and of course your data, which could be your enterprise data. So in this session, we're gonna explore what MCP server is, why it matters to you, and how it will be able to help you unlock developing the next generation of AI powered applications. So so this is just the standard safe harbor statement. So let's just go with the uh, good stuff. Okay, so what's actually powering all of this? So it's something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And you can think of MCP as your universal connector between your AI assistants and different tools like your data or your systems that you use every day. And it kind of give you with a standard way to make those capabilities available to your AI. And why does that matter? So because it allows your AI assistant to move beyond its built-in knowledge. So instead of only answering based on the training data, so now your AI assistant, it can access live information, interact with business systems, and even help you to get the real work done. And before I go with the what MCP server is, so before MCP, so every tool had to invent its own protocol to connect to an LLM or a large language model. So let's say if you wanted to use multiple tools, like each one had its own method, its own interface, its own integration pattern, and that Anthropic introduced MCP as a way to standardize it. Or a good comparison or a good way to think about it, it's like you have an USB-C for your AI. So same thing. So USB-C brings power, data transfer, and display into one unified port. And MCP does the similar for does something similar for your AI models. Like it provides you with a common framework for exchanging context and interacting with tools without you writing a pile of custom integration code. And with MCP clients, which we will consider as AI assistants and interfaces that support MCP. So MCP clients include things like your Claude desktop, client, Copilot, Cursor, or Deep Chat, and this clients employ LLMs like your Chat GPT, Anthropic's Claude, Grok, or Gemini, and many more. And they can now interact directly with external things. And these external things include your operating system, your containers, your source code repos, and even yes, your Oracle database. And another major feature in this area is when we release the local version of the MCP server in Oracle SQL CL MCP server. So this technology is available for all Oracle databases, and it's brought to you by our MCP server which is a feature of the Oracle SQL CL. So with this local MCP server that we release, so your AI assistants gets a set of powerful tools that can be used to interact with your database directly versus being limited to what it has been trained on or has been enriched with RAG or resources or your own created prompts. And the local MCP server that we have with the Oracle SQL CL. So it is available even as of July last year, 2025. And once your agent has been configured to use this MCP server, it will have make it easy to interact with your Oracle database. So as you can see here, so here's the list of the tools that you can provide to your MCP client using that Oracle SQL local MCP server. So SQL CL, it's a local MCP server wherein it's going to be running on your machine next to your agent, just like you're already using tools like SQL Developer today. But the main focus of this session is for us to look into the recently announced early this month the Oracle managed MCP servers in OCI. So we're gonna have a look at the OCI managed MCP server and how will it enable a secure agentic access to your Oracle AI database. As we all know, as organizations adopt AI agents, so one of the biggest challenges is how will you give those AI agents secure and govern access to your enterprise data? So I'll go and first explain what the service is, why it matters, and then show you like how easy it is for you to set up and to set up an MCP server and use an MCP client. And one of the most exciting aspects of this announcement is that the OCI managed MCP servers are now a native capability within the OCI database tools. So in your OCI console, so you simply need to navigate to developer services. Under the database tools, you'll find there the model context protocol servers. And if you're already using Oracle AI database cloud services, like Exadata database service, BaseDB, or Oracle AI database at multi-cloud, like Oracle AI database at Azure, GCP, and AWS, then you're already using an Oracle AI database that can participate in this architecture. So the same database tools framework used to manage database connectivity under the database tools is now extended to provide you with an agentic access through MCP. Okay, and now you can easily bring your Oracle AI database to your agentic software development, like because none of these tools works without your data. And most AI architectures today are still fragmented. Like you might have like a vector database here, your data warehouse over there, then APIs everywhere. But with Oracle AI database, so everything it's all unified. Like you can store different data types for different workloads. You can store structured data, you can store unstructured data, vectors, JSON, and most importantly, it runs anywhere, like on-premise, public cloud, and multi-cloud. So instead of stitching systems together, your Oracle AI database becomes your AI platform. And that's just a small part of what we have added to Oracle AI Database 26 AI. Because another big feature that we've added here is that you can now load your embedding models directly into your database. And that is important because there are times when you want to use vector search with proprietary data that you simply cannot move out of your database, whether that's due to regulations or your own security rules. And by loading these Onyx formatted models inside your database, so all the vector generation happens within inside your database, benefiting from the database's security. And with the Oracle's approach to AI in databases, it is very open. Like in many ways, it lines up with our multi-cloud and converged strategies. And that your Oracle AI database, it's built to work with all these leading AI models and tools and providers that your enterprise decides to use. And also, when you're developing AI agents, so you can also easily connect your AI agents to your enterprise systems by using the MCP server. So again, an MCP server is a lightweight program that acts as a secure, standardized bridge between your AI models, like like your LLMs, and external tools, like your databases, which is running on your Oracle AI database. So you can easily connect your agents. Like an agent makes a request to your MCP server, and then your AI model or AI tools interprets it. Like the AI interprets the request and generates the SQL statement, and then the MCP server executes the queries against your Oracle AI database, and then the results are returned and delivered to you to your client in a natural language. So think of it as like having a personal assistant for your Oracle database, which you can easily enhance business tasks like your reporting and forecasting. You can also automate some of your operational tasks like DBA tasks like maintenance and troubleshooting, as well as to accelerate developer tasks. So let me just go through some of the use case samples on how you can use an MCP server. So here in this example, so taking the persona of a business analyst, so you can use MCP to assist with data analysis, pattern discovery, and remediation suggestions. So here the uh, the analyst prompts the MCP using a natural language as shown in the prompt. Like here, it doesn't you don't need to like write a SQL just in your prompt. Like here, like um analyze the traffic data in our database, and that using the geo coordinates help me correlate the town street and then find me the top dangerous intersections for prioritizing funding improvements. So the MCP server formulates and executes the necessary queries on a user's behalf and generates an HTML page to display the findings and results. And as you can see here, even the plotting, it leverages some of the Oracle database features like Oracle spatial capabilities to translate geo coordinates to map locations for easy human understanding. And for this example, like let's take the persona of a DBA. Like here, if you are a DBA, like instead of DBA spending hours manually searching for performance and issues, so now I can just create a simple natural language prompt like, hey, um, find me the worst performing query in the last 2 weeks and suggest optimizations. And then the MCP server can take over from there. It can automatically connect security to your Oracle database, writes and runs multiple SQL queries, and collect all relevant performance data. And then depending on your prompt, so the results will be structured. Like for this example, the prompt asks to provide recommendations as an executive summary. And then in the response, as you can see here from in the slide, like it also gives you recommendations by giving you clear actions, such as by just adding composite index and optimize join, then you can reduce the execution time up to 80%. So here's just a sample on how MCP server can help you reduce manual work And here in this demo, I have configured an MCP server connected to my Exadata database service running on GCP. And once I've configured the MCP server, so I'm now ready to just ask questions and discover what's inside my database. Like, hey, I just inherited a large Oracle database. Can you check what available database connections I have? And on my MCP server, as I have shown a while ago, like you have a list of tools that you can grant your MCP server. Like here, I have a list connection tools, which just give me and list me all the available connections. And then once I'm okay with it, like, hey, I'll just tell the MCP, you can go ahead and connect to that database. And then I'll be just start asking questions to discover my database, like show me the schemas available in tables and give me some descriptions about it. And then I can uncover insights by just asking it in a natural language, like give me the total sales revenue by year. And looking at this, the AI, our AI assistant, it does the SQL generation, and then the MCP lets you connect security to your data. And then from there, I can even ask it further, like analyze the sales trend over the years. And then here, the MCP server takes over and run and execute those SQL queries. And looking at the results, I can even extend it since I have the my AI LLM connected to my MCP server. Like I could even ask it, like based on the sales data and trends you've just analyzed, like write me a 3 paragraph executive summary with key insights and recommendations for the sales team that I can use just to write and send it to email. So this is the power of like how you can create an AI agent and let it access live data from your database using an MCP server. And to extend it further, like here, I'm just asking, like, find me customers who are physically close to each other, and that what information can you get from the available spatial and demographic data. So keyword here is spatial and demographic data, and at the back end, it can trigger some of the spatial operations that you can perform inside your database. Okay, so interesting demo. So let's go back. So the OCI managed MCP server. So it's the Oracle's fully managed implementation of the Model Context Protocol delivered as part of the OCI database tools service. So the important point here is that customers don't need to deploy, update, and scale or maintain the MCP servers themselves, as OCI manages the infrastructure, lifecycle security, and availability of the MCP endpoint. And from an end user perspective, so this allows your AI agents or any MCP compatible clients to interact with your Oracle AI database using natural language, but still maintaining enterprise governance and control. Because access can be controlled at a very granular level, including which users can execute specific MCP tools. And that deployment is extremely simple because the MCP server is built directly on top of existing database tools connection. And that the architecture is actually very simple. Like you can see here on the left, uh, the business user can interact with any MCP compatible AI client. So whether that's an AI assistant, code assistant, agent platform, or custom application. And then the request is sent to the OCI database tools managed MCP server. And this is where the authentication, authorization, and governance happen, as because it's using the OCI IAM and OAuth for authorization. And that the MCP server then exposes a set of approved tools. Like in this example, tools that can run SQL or execute trusted reports. And those tools interact with the Oracle database, which could be your Oracle AI database running on your Exadata database service, or BaseDB, or any supported Oracle database deployment. And that the important point here is that the AI agent never gets direct database access. So meaning everything flows through managed MCP tools and OCI security controls, and that the access is governed by the user's enterprise identity, so that what an agent can do is determined by the same SSO and group memberships already used across the organization. And and before creating an MCP server, so everything starts with the database tools connection. So that's the prerequisite. So before you create an MCP server, so you need to have a database connection set up. So think of it as a secure bridge between OCI and your Oracle AI database. So the database connection, so it stores the connection details once, and then multiple MCP servers can reuse it. And from a security perspective, so this is important because the MCP server inherits the permissions of the database user associated with that connection. So if the database user associated to that MCP server is read only, so the AI agent is effectively read only. So existing database roles, grants, and security policies continue to apply automatically. So in short, OCI controls who can access to the MCP layer, and the Oracle database controls what they can actually see and do. And that with the connection in place, so after you've created the DB connections, and now you're ready to create the MCP server. So in this demo, I'm using an Oracle database at Azure, which is an Oracle Exadata database service on dedicated infrastructure. So that's where my database is running, that I want to create an MCP server. So I just need to go to the VM cluster and then go to the OCI link for me to be redirected to OCI. And in my OCI console, I just need to go to developer services, database tools, and then go to model context protocol servers, and then click on create MCP server. And then I just need to like give it a name, a description. I need to select which compartment I wanted to create my MCP server. I need to select a domain, connection, and then the object storage bucket. Okay, let me pause here. So again, creating an MCP server, it's actually very straight forward. So there are only three key components. So first is the domain. So the domain is the OCI IAM identity domain, where authentication and authorizations are managed. So this is especially relevant to OCI IAM, as you can allow users to access the MCP server using their existing credentials and group memberships in OCI IAM. And then the second is the connection, which we just discussed. So this is the database tools connection that security connects the MCP server to your Oracle AI database. And then the third one is the object storage, which is optional, and it's mainly used for if you're storing results from a longer running asynchronous operations. Okay, so once you've set those three key components, so here we're just configuring the OAuth token lifetimes. So this just controls how long access tokens and refresh tokens remain valid. And then for this demo, I'm using the resource principal, which allows the MCP server to authenticate to OCI using its own managed identity. So once the MCP server is created, so you can go to toolsets and create the MCP toolset. So these are the different tools that you'll be allowing your MCP server to use. So for the MCP toolsets, So the think of it as a set of capabilities you're exposing to your AI agent that you'll be creating that will be using the MCP server. So there are three main categories here. So first is the custom SQL tools where you can create your own parameterized SQL or PL SQL based operations. So this is useful when you want the your AI agent to perform specific business functions or specific administrative tasks. And then second is the built-in SQL tools. So which supports more open-ended interactions and NL to SQL scenarios by allowing your AI agent to generate and execute SQL. And then the third is the customizable reporting tools, which expose curated SQL reports as governed MCP tools. So this is often the preferred option, especially for production use case, because users can only access approved reports and access can be controlled through the IAM groups. So once you've define and create the toolset, so next is to register the MCP client. So under the client tab, so just click on the register MCP client. So the final step is registering the MCP client that will connect to the managed MCP server. So OCI supports three client types. So depending on your architecture, so you have a public type. So wherein clients are typically desktop or mobile applications, you also have the confidential type where clients are web applications running on a secure server that can safely store credentials and authenticate using client credentials. And then you also have the trusted client type, which are the server side applications that can act on behalf of users and securely access resources without requiring an individual user consent. And once registered, the OCI generates the OAuth configuration that allows the MCP client to securely authenticate and access the MCP tools that we have exposed. So you can view the MCP client details by just clicking on the registered client. So here you'll see that OCI provides all the information needed for that MCP client to connect securely to the server. So you'll find here like key fields like MCP server URL, which is the MCP endpoint, the client ID and the client secret that is used for authentication, and then the authorization URL that's used as part of the OAuth flow. So this details are what an MCP compatible client uses to establish a secure connection to the managed MCP server. So once you've created the MCP server, define the toolset, register the client, now it's time to you to call it from your AI agent. So here in this demo, like I have my AI agent builder on my Azure uh, Foundry. And here I have created an agent that I wanted to interact with a live data that is inside my Oracle AI database on Oracle AI database running on Oracle database at Azure. So in Foundry, if you go to the tools, go to the catalog, and then search by remote MCP, you can search and find the Oracle MCP server there. So it's available in their catalog. And here in the tools, I just need to use the client registration details, which is available in the OCI console. So I just need to fill in the MCP server URL and also the authorization fields. And then what's important to take note here is that you just need to check the redirect URL from your AI agent. So make sure that it's also registered in your client as part of the in the integrated application details. So see that redirect URL. So just make sure that it's also um, present in your OAuth configuration. So you'll see there the redirect URL. So once you've confirmed that you have the redirect URL of your AI agent registered on your MCP client, and then that's it. So you can use the MCP server to your AI agent, and then from your AI agent, you can now interact with live data that is on your Oracle AI database. So in this demo, it's a retail data. Like here, I'm just asking my agent, like, show me a list of unpaid invoices in the last 90 days. And then the MCP server will take over. It will confirm and validate if you wanted to execute that query. So you have an option to approve once or approve or always approve all the Oracle tools on your agent, and that you can now interact with your data on your Oracle database using the AI agent that is talking to the configured MCP server for your Oracle AI database. And it is the same with if you're using um like an agent, a different agent builder, like AI private, like the private agent factory. So on your private agent factory, so here there's an add MCP server. So you have the MCP server name, the MCP server URL, and then all of this OAuth details which you can get from your MCP server registered client. So once you've filled out all the details and you have successfully added your MCP server to your AI agent, to your private agent factory. So if you go to your agent builder, then you can create an AI agent that is using that MCP server. So in private agent factory, in Oracle private agent factory, so you'll see an MCP server under the tools available. So you can just simply drag and drop that node, and then add an input and an output, which could be a chat. So I can have like a chat input and a chat output for this AI agent. And then I just need to select that MCP server. So that one is the MCP server that we have configured for exascale database. And then I just need to select the LLM to be used by my agent, which is the Grok model. And then I just need to connect the nodes, like the chat input will be my prompt, and then the output will be also shown into a chat. And then I just need to like give it a name, like MCP CP exascale. Okay, so once you've saved, you can just go to your custom flows, and then like, so after you save it, so you see that you can test your AI agent that is connected to that MCP server. So here I'm just asking my AI agent through the chat about like what's the available schemas and data, and then give me some descriptions, and then it gonna help me with this results. So the MCP server provided the secure connection to my Oracle database. And yeah, so that's basically it for our session for today. And if you want to get access to resources and stay updated with the upcoming tech talks, or if you want to have the materials that I've used in this tech talk, so we also have our public Slack workspace. It's Exadata dash database dash service. And then if you want to join the discussion, so you can simply join our public Slack workspace through the join link. And then if you want to watch the replay of this session and get access to the materials and demos that I have used. So you can also visit our playlist on YouTube. So just scan a QR code. So there's an Exadata database service and BaseDB Tech Talk playlist available in YouTube. So, yep. So again, that's bring us to the end of this Tech Talk. So again, thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, have a great day.